What did you have for dinner, Dennis?
What did I have for dinner?
Yes.
I had your mom for dinner. Oh, eh.
My mom is Mitt Romney. Because you said you had some flip-flops.
Oh.
Only 2012 kids will get that joke.
Do you remember where you were on the great year of our Lord 2012? I mean, to be fair, after like 10 years...
I was simping over a girl that looked like Hot Topic Avril Lavigne because I was still in high school.
To be fair, though, who wasn't simping on a lot of girls who look like Avril Lavigne?
There is this one Smashcaster. Her name is Vicky Kitty. And she posted a picture of herself, like Twitter trends or whatever, like, oh, post a picture of what you look like in 2010 or 2012 or this and that, and then, like, it just repeats a chain, like, those little social media trends. The actual wholesome ones. And she...
Very rare, by the way.
Looked like the most fucking... She looked like the exact kind of girl that 16 to 15-year-old David would have let ruin his fucking life. Like, verbatim. She looked exact, and I'm not even kidding. Like, even in her face, like, the blonde hair and everything, she looked exactly like this girl that I was legit, like, in love with when I was in fucking high school. Shoutouts to Autumn. Also, Autumn, if you're listening to this, I mean, what's up?
what you doing? Like,
what's going on?
How
here,
you doing, huh? Let me know.
Hope them tattoos are treating you well. Just we're drawing them on people and shit. But verbatim, the kind of girl that, like, before a man's frontal lobe stops developing, realizes shit. You just fucking
like,
go
damn
in.
it.
Where are you, my discount Sam Manson?
Are you?
Where are you?
It's either like gothy type of girls or girls that look like Roxanne from the Goofy movie. Like, unironically. I think like everyone low key kind of had like, I think like a type, and one was obviously a little bit more, nothing wrong with goth girls, but it's just kind of like, a little bit more forbidden, if you know what I mean. Like, everyone at least has seen a girl that looked like Roxanne. Like, everyone. And every school had, like, a pretty to hot, like, goth girl.
Yeah, I remember the other girl that I really liked. She had a rat nose, too.
Know what I mean, though.
I agree with you completely. It's either that, like, the very typical, like, girl next door look, like, that sort of, like, wholesome hot, like, like, she was real nice, she's real popular, but for good reasons, if that makes any sense. And then legit that there's like the sort of quote unquote unpopular girl, like the one who loves Fall Out Boy.
Loves Fall Out Boy.
Panic at the Disco.
Linkin Park.
What was the Linkin Park was another one back then, and what was the huge one?
All American Rejects?
No, not even the All American Rejects, because they fell off pretty hard. Because they dropped 2 albums that were really good, and then their next album was trash, and they were
the same. The Killers.
I know way more about the All American Rejects. The Killers was another one.
Yeah.
What is one that goes? What is the fucking? I'm trying to remember it right now. It goes, when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up... Why can I not remember?
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance. Thank you. That was the biggest one back then. My Chemical Romance. Yeah, they liked
Green
all
Day.
those bands. They're on the checklist. Oh, I fucking love Green Day now.
I still love the Killers too. I think but here
I love the Killers too.
But the only song that I remember from them is literally they're probably arguably their best song, like, hands down, which was Mr. Brightside. I still fucking sing that shit at karaoke. Like,
Mr. Brightside, and my personal favorite from them is actually When You Were Young.
That was them?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a real fan. Sorry, guys. I'm a fake fan. I'm sorry.
Well, Dennis, you don't look like a double T-titted 16-year-old girl with piercings on every orifice of coming out your face. You know what? You have an excuse. It's fine. The 16-year-olds now are on TikTok nowadays.
Your facetiousness aside, David.
Yeah.
I'm also like, this is just like a little nitpick on like goth girls. Like, I have to say, I think all of us had like a crush on a goth girl at least once, right? But definitely the one boner killer for me was always like the amount of like crazy jewelry that is like on their face. Like the lips, it's like probably was never gonna happen anyways, but it's like, how am I gonna kiss you? Like, I don't want to feel no metal thing on my lips. Like, it's like, we're doing anything. And then, like, for obviously, like, nose, I'm almost, like, completely fine with. Like, I think it's just when you just go overboard with it that I'm just kind of like, you went from, like, tastefully punkish to, like, what the fuck is on your face?
This bitch got a piercing through her pupil. How do you see?
Oh yeah, the eye rings. Yeah, those too. You
have a ring. You shoved it through your fucking clit. How? First of all, how? I'm thinking about putting one of those things through my goddamn urethra. But the thought makes me shudder harder than Leo DiCaprio in fucking Shutter Island. It's like, how? And don't get me wrong, I get it too, because that was very much me. Again, Autumn, what's up? Granted, I was also, 14 years old, however old I was at the time, and that girl was fucking stacked. So I had, like, feelings for her for, like, the wrong reasons. Like, she had just
penis feelings.
Yeah, I had very, very strong penis feelings towards that girl. And, I was 14 years old. You can't tell the fucking difference. They're not smart enough yet. It's just like, Mom, I love her! It's like, meanwhile, it's just like then she just gets, like, a breast reduction. Like, it's that episode of fucking South Park. It's like, hey, you guys ever notice that Bebe is not that cool anymore? It's like, you're 14 years old, you can't tell the fucking difference. But shoutouts to her. Thank you for helping me with my penis feelings growing up.
It's so odd, too, because it's like, I don't know, like, we, like, put so much stock onto, like, certain qualities on a person that, like, if they ever, let's say, try to change or, like, get rid of them, we, like, automatically, like, not even just talking about, like, girls with big tits, but, like, just in general with people, it's like, the moment they, like, try to be something that we don't associate them with, like, automatically we just kind of go the route of, like, as Cartman said, yeah, did you ever notice that David's not cool anymore?
Nintoonist peaked back in, like, 2017, with his top 10 videos, now he's making some, like, gay little podcasts. Nobody listens to it. It's fine. Nobody cares. I totally get that, though, because, it's kind of also got a big, like, fetish aspect to it, because it's people fetishize
absolutely
the shit out of goth girls, and it's not a good kind of fetish either, because it's like a big, like, oh, you're not like the other girls fetish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
and don't get me wrong.
Something forbidden about them. Like, I don't know. Like, there's, like, definitely that weird, like, kind of, like, taboo-ish about it.
And a little bit of that can be valid if, like, a lot of girls do a very popular thing that you just don't like for whatever reason, which is completely valid. Just because everybody's doing something doesn't mean you have to do it. But then you just associate that quality onto goth girls. But it's like, hey, what if they also love making fucking, dance TikToks or whatever, like, the popular girls do or whatever. It's like, you're gonna hate them all of a sudden? Or is this the same girl you fell in love with before? See, that's why it's all about who the fuck a person is.
Absolutely.
Rather than the fucking piercings they got, or, the size of it is not the size of the titties, it's what's behind them that counts.
Can I even just say, like, I just thought of in my head, like, what if there was, like, a goth girl, like, in school who, like, actually really loved cheerleading? Like, she thought it actually was, like, the coolest fucking thing ever. But it's like, there is no way in hell that she's ever gonna join that cheer team, because, like, all cheer teams have to look, like, a certain fucking way. Even, like, it's so funny, too, because it's like, everyone always associates the cheerleaders with white girls. But then it's like, if you're any other nationality, right, you have to wear the same stupid pigtails, the same fucking uniform, the same stupid pom-poms, do the same fucking stupid moves that, like, basically everyone else is doing. And if you are any, like, heavier than, like, 140, then you're automatically on the bottom, bitch, because, like, we are not gonna fucking lift you up.
Exactly.
And, like, it's like, obviously, everything has a pecking order to it, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, a lot of just things in school in general, like, not even just, like, cheer teams, but even, like, a lot of, like, let's say, like, clubs and such, all had, like, their own cliques, and it's all just kind of, like, the way it is. Like, when you go to, like, let's say the chess club, you always think, like, oh, yeah, knight to B2, like, thing, everyone expects, like, nerds. You go to, like, the anime clubs, you just see a fat loser. For the most part, like thinking there.
Yeah, the kids doing fucking jutsus in the corner.
Yeah. And then, obviously, for the football team, everyone just already automatically expects, the jocks. Like they're gonna be playing football. And you know, funny enough, there was like a lot of football teams that I've seen, like when I was doing marching band. A lot of times, at least like 40% of them were fat fucks, like who were just basically linemen. That like, you know, that's your role. You're a wall because you're like the size of two people, like width-wise. So like, you know, that's your role. So at the very least, the dude could say, yeah, I played varsity football, and it's just like the dude's like 300 pounds. It's like, how? And like, but it's like, that's the thing, like stereotypes aside, like in a perfect world, like I would want everyone just kind of be able to like do what they want to do, like no matter like who they are. Like I bet even like a white girl probably listened to a ton of like you know, like a regular cheerleader type, you know, girl, like just going stereotypes wise, like, you know, we always just think like, oh yeah, they listen to. No one actually knew what the fuck white girls like listen to, TBH. They all just kind of listened. I think everyone just listened to like what was on the radio for the most part.
I mean, we know what they listen to now, but I understand what.
Like back in the day, like everyone just kind of listened to the car radio. That was it. Like that was most people's music. We didn't have Pandora and like Spotify and shit like back then.
Pre-Napster.
Yeah, it was pre-Napster. Yeah, exactly. Like everyone was just kind of listening to what was like on the billboards, top 10 and Z100. So, oh, by the way, I do have a bit of a topic today. So we're gonna like, this is like probably the biggest like 90-degree segue like ever, because I really do want to talk about this. But I was enjoying this little convo that we were having. I have seen something again that I have not seen in a very, very long time, and it reminds me of like when we had like those huge ass lines for like midnight releases for like games and other like kind of like just things that we consumed as far as media goes. And like I think if anyone can go back to the history books, it's like the best example that we could think of, or like the biggest example is when Halo 3 came out and the midnight release of that game. If anyone was ever there, all y'all remember it. Like that was a fucking event. Like that shit was history, really. That shit was making the news. Shit set records. Like I don't think there's ever been anything like that like since then. As far as let's say like midnight releases go. I mean, maybe you could argue like movies are still kind of doing it, but like I don't know, Halo 3, like if you ever even seen the YouTube clips of it,
yeah, I mean, as far as things that like impacted the internet, that was back when machinima was relevant, you know, before they deleted every single video off their channel. And did you not know that?
No. Oh no, I knew that, but it's just
okay.
like I always like remember machinima really started to take off by the time Halo 3 was around.
Well, yeah, because of the red versus blue show.
Yeah.
Because of the red versus blue show or whatever the fuck it was called. That was like one of their biggest shows. It was their Halo 3 parody.
Oh yeah, and it started off like from the previous Halos. Yeah.
Yeah. But nowadays, you know, like, you know, games like Fortnite or where I would argue have been like more historic and like their internet shaping legacy, but like those are memes.
Not because of like the media it created, like more so just kind of like the different kind of
like I remember hearing on the
funny
radio
haha
in the
kind
car once, you know, they announced that the Super Smash that Brawl came out because of how ridiculously anticipated of a game that was. I remember the radio was how that did it, you know, but back before, you know, the media landscape changed and like, you know, we heard about these things online and
games even became more like mainstream.
Yeah, stuff like that.
But like, so in regards to like my little introduction there, if there are any fans out here of Mega Man Battle Network, which guys, we just recently got our Legacy Collection at a fucking long last. Woo! We won.
Yeah,
we won,
baby. That's what I've been waiting for.
That's what it's all about. Woo! We fucking won, guys. On April 14th of the year of our Lord 2023, at long last, the Capcom gods have finally answered our fucking prayers, and we got the Legacy Collection that we've been waiting for fucking years.
They finally stopped focusing on big titty vampire women
and big sword wielding. We were
talking about earlier. There you go.
And big sword wielding guy to finally go back to Blue Man who shoots things on the internet. Literally,
modernity. Return to Blue Man.
Return to Blue Man, and
return to Bloomin.
Return to Bloomin, and
return to Bluesy.
I have a bit of a story because let me just start this by saying then I had reserved my copy about a month in advance. I thought that, by the time it releases, probably gonna be no problem. I'll get my shit on time and that'll be the end of it. And lo and behold, the release date was April 14th, correct? My Amazon, yes, I ordered from Amazon, the devil himself. I ordered, and the app basically said that it was gonna be coming by April 18th. Why it needed 4 days after after release, I have no idea. I had no idea. So I was like, okay, all right, I could wait 4 days. I wanted to play right then and fucking there, like when it came out, but fine. If I have to wait, then I'll have to wait. So couple days after release, it said, your item has shipped from, believe it or not, there's a Newark in California. It's probably just as shitty. It shipped from
Get
Newark.
outta here.
Yeah, I'm dead ass. It was Newark, California.
Wait a minute. Okay,
So
you can
it
keep
was,
going.
yeah, so it was being shipped from there, and it said, left the facility. And 3 days went by, and nothing changed. It just stayed as left the facility and did not arrive at any sort of hub around Jersey anywhere. Fucking 3 days. Just basically, it just disappeared into the wind, apparently. And I gave it, they basically sent me a notification saying hey, your package has been delayed, so it's going to be coming on this and this date. And I was like, it's Battle Network, so at the very least, it's fine. I'll give you the couple more days till it arrives. Nothing. Fucking nothing. So I basically I asked for a return. And then I looked around and saw if any other kind of sites had it. At least online. Funny enough, I was looking at GameStop. No brick and mortar store had the fucking thing anywhere. It was fucking sold out. It was as if it was Bigfoot. It just didn't exist almost. It was just nowhere to be seen. So then I went online and I asked, I didn't ask, but I ordered it for delivery to my house and it said, will ship or be delivered by 1 to 3 days. So it was kind of their own kind of Amazon Prime type of shit for orders $60 and above. So, I waited. 3 days went by, nothing fucking got shipped. Nothing. It just basically said, order received. And then that was it for about 3 days. And I went as far as to call their customer service, and the guy basically said, and GameStop didn't say this, on their website at least, the guy said that the thing was being back ordered. And we will let you know when the fucking thing has shipped. And I was shocked because not only did Amazon not have my shit, or at the very least, they just, I guess, ran out of stock before I even put in my order, that they just basically didn't take that into account. Sorry about that. And so I was just kind of I had never seen this before. A game like this, or even any game in general, just being sold out fucking everywhere. I've never seen that in my life. Ever since back in when Brawl and a few of those other kind of bigger games were out, I hadn't seen this in so long that I was almost going back to those days when we were outside online and we would even hear that remember when the Wii was so fucking big that for a while nobody could find one. It was just it was fucking sold out
deals
everywhere.
With game store owners and stuff. Yeah, a buddy of mine owns a game store, and that's, he held one for me and stuff. That shit was that shit was it was the MacGuffin. It was pretty impossible to get. It reminds me when I was doing the Nintendo program 2020 when the PS5 and the Xbox Series X dropped. Legitimately impossible to get because of COVID, albeit it's a different reason. It was because of a global pandemic. But every time I would just have people come up to me and be like, hey, boss, PS5. And I literally just put my arm around them like fucking Pepe, the shrimp and the Kermit the Frog meme. And I had to literally say to people, I'm not even kidding, I actually did this to people, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. You're not getting one before Christmas.
even then, that's like, you know, that's still like not even 100% either. Like,
yeah, the Wii was like a whole different ballpark, like you mentioned. You know, back then it was just ridiculous. But hey, man, the after-school programs that I was in after school because like my mom worked late. I'm telling you, man, they played Mega Man Battle Network every day. They talked about it so much. It was one of the most popular games that we talked about and like played in like the after-school programs and stuff like that. So you say this, but I'm not surprised to hear that. It's like,
I know, it's just that I hadn't seen it in so long, like a product like at all, just like being sold out like fucking everywhere. I was this close. Just another bit of the story. I was this close. Well, actually, it didn't happen because everyone was still sold out. I was like, you know, okay, I would be willing to drive to Philly to pick this up if it was there. I was that willing. I was willing to do a fucking road trip down to shitty Philly to fucking pick it up if it was there. And lo and behold, it was sold out there too. So I was just shit out of luck, bro.
You drove down there?
No. I was looking at it from GameStop and like just seeing like on their GPS, like, hey, like, you know, for this store, like, do you guys have it? Literally, I have not seen that much orange of like not available in my entire fucking life for GameStop.
Okay, I was about to say, I thought you drove down to Philly and found out, yes, the entire city of Philly out of Mega Man Battle Network. I visited every store. I was about to go to Party City and just like pre-order your fucking clown outfit if you wound up doing that.
I was I was just shopping around, like literally Best Buy, fucking GameStop, like everywhere. Like it was just sold out of it. And like I was even thinking, does Micro Center sell games? And it's like they don't. But you know, I was like at that point I was just grasping at straws. Like I was just like, because I really wanted a physical copy. Like, I just wanted that shit in my fucking hands. Like, I wanted to fucking... I wanted to smell it and shit. But, alas...
that bluesy.
Alas, all there was basically scalped-ass copies on eBay. Which, I almost had a moment of weakness. And I was about to pay $25 plus MSRP to get one. But, you know, my morals can bend when it comes to like, you know, certain things. So
somebody's selling it for $70.
No, it was like 95, like 85.
Oh my god, fucking scalpers!
Send me that link to the 70 actually.
Okay.
Is it 70 plus like $20 shipping?
Hey, listen, it's $69.99. Okay. Okay.
69.
Okay.
The funny sex number, right? From fucking Korea, dude. This is 92.
Oh.
Oh no, 82. 82.
Oh, my bad.
But that's why I said like in terms of like the shipping, like the only places that I've seen that actually hold it are like basically eBay sellers, and they're all scalping the fuck out of it. And I'm like, I underestimated how like. I thought me and like 10 other people were the only ones that played Mega Man Battle Network. I did not know that it was a fucking high school, like not high school, like elementary school playground blacktop ass pastime for a lot of kids that had GBAs. I did not know. I just didn't know.
Shit was bigger than Tech Decks, dude.
I think it was even at one point like not like bigger than like let's say Yu-Gi-Oh, because like I think, you know, by the time like Yu-Gi-Oh came out, like I was in like elementary school, like tons of fucking kids were playing it.
Man, and you fucking kids even listening to this right now, if there's any of you don't understand. Like, you know, I bet you're thinking like, oh wow, played it on Game Boys and stuff, but was it like a multiplayer game? How did you play it with each other? Well, you had to buy a fucking separate ass cable.
Someone had to pack their cable and they had to use it with someone else.
We plugged it into our Game Boy, and we had to plug the other end into their Game Boy, and it linked it. It was called a link cable, Game Boy Advance link cable.
Oh,
but David, were there multiplayer games back then? I remember the Mario Brothers games. They had like 4 people. Yes, there was another add-on to it that you attached in the center of it, and then everybody plugged their link cables into that.
Oh, right.
And we basically had like, you know, a little
4-player co-op
portable console co-op thing for us in the middle of nowhere.
It's the most jerry-rigging fucking thing I've ever seen, like a link cable. It got so like it looked so like such a mess.
Yeah, because like, you know, Bluetooth technology or like wireless technology wasn't public yet. It wasn't until the DS that really became public or possible, like portable Well, I just say
Yeah,
that
like
shit
fucking
5 times fast.
when people played like
Public portable. I get plenty puffy. I get plenty puffy.
But when it came to like games like Mario Kart DS, like you could have like multiple people like all just like playing.
It was still only 4 for Mario Kart DS, and
oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you also only needed one person to own the game.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember.
But everybody else had to be a shy guy if they didn't own the game because like their DSs didn't have all the data or whatever. So like it just loaded a shy guy for you to play it.
Which is fine. At the end of the day, it's like I'm playing fucking Mario Kart, but don't even need to buy the cartridge. Like fuck it.
Yeah, it was also like literally the first or second game ever to have Nintendo Wi-Fi connection for you to play it online with people and stuff like that. Can only imagine how shitty that connection was back then.
But like,
where am I supposed to plug this Ethernet port into this Nintendo DS console?
Network engineers like take apart a fucking Nintendo DS. It's like, wow, this shit's ancient. like holy shit! How did this thing even hold together?
Yeah, but did you get it?
That's the thing. I even said it before. I prefer physical copies if I can help it. If I could get one, no. That's the thing. I basically compromised on my morals. And I went to the eShop and I just downloaded the fucking thing.
No!
I was... Let me just tell you something. I have never been this hyper-fixated on playing a fucking game in my life. Bro, I was literally like clawing at the walls to play this. And I wanted a physical copy too. That's what it was. Not only did I want to play it, I wanted a fucking physical copy for my hands to hold.
Yeah, so that
like,
way Nintendo
that's how much,
take it away from you.
How much of a fucking ape I am. Like my neurons activated as soon as I like saw that it came out. Like, I wanted it so fucking badly. And it was just like definitely like that nostalgia high for sure. But like this game again, like was my childhood. Like it was a formative fucking thing for my childhood.
That was me with Brawl when I was a kid. I was so obsessed with that fucking game. I was so obsessed with that.
I think
game.
everyone.
I remember when it got delayed. It got delayed like twice, and the second time it got delayed, I looked at the website and I was like, "What?" And I like ran downstairs to like yell at my mom about it. I'm like, "Mom, they delayed it again. Can you believe that?" And my mother had to sympathize like so hard. Meanwhile, my
because she's like, trying to like like it's a fucking game. Get over it. Like
yeah,
she's
like and my sister's sitting next to my mom, and my sister inside. She didn't say anything either, but she's like, "Who fucking cares?" And I'm genuinely upset. Like,
yeah,
I'm
I
angry.
know.
Like screaming about it, like, "Can you believe they did that?" And I'm like,
and your mom's just like, "Oh my god, yeah, I can't believe
she's like,
it."
I'm so sorry, David. I'm so sorry.
But then as soon as you went back upstairs, she's just like, "Wow, like
Christ." Dude, I looked at that website every single day. I remember when they announced
I know.
Sonic,
that's what I'm talking about.
When they announced Sonic, the amount of like fake Sonic like images, the fake Sonic leaks for Smash Brothers, because he was like the most requested character for Smash Brothers by far at the time, understandably so. And then when it was an actual post on the official fucking website about it, I'm not even kidding. I kept track. I stared at it for like 2 hours.
Just so that you knew
serious.
that like you weren't hallucinating.
Yeah, that I wasn't hallucinating. There was a trailer dropped with gameplay and everything because he was like the only character that they actually dropped a gameplay trailer for rather than just a blog post because people just couldn't believe it. And I stared at it for literally hours. I'm like, I couldn't believe it was real. It was like a actual euphoric experience for a 12-year-old child. And I remember going to school the next day and we were all talking about
all
it.
Hype.
And
it was just all hype.
And we had a field trip that day too, so like we didn't even have to be in class. So it was an extra hype day.
We weren't even paying attention to the fucking field. No one ever actually paid attention to whatever the field trip was. Like all y'all were just talking about fucking Brawl. It's like, yo, you see the trailer, bro? It's fucking crazy.
And to hyper fixate on something like that as an adult is different, but as a child, it's like, you remember that was my main responsibility in life, was counting down the days till Brawl.
I know, life. Because it's like it's so funny too, because like the way you mentioned that, because like at least as far as like being adults, right? Like I'm not saying that at least we're not. It's not that we're not capable of getting excited for certain things. I think when it comes to hype for, let's say, movies, games, or even TV shows, or whatever kind of media you consume. Like, or even just like a product as well. Like, obviously, like there is excitement, but like there isn't like at the very least like when you were excited as a kid was a different level of excitement. This was like shit that you wouldn't shut the fuck up about because it's like you
My
just
mom screamed at me once or twice because I wouldn't stop talking her ear off about it, to the point where she actually got annoyed.
Point proven.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, like as like a kid, like the excitement that we feel for things as a kid is just like you remember that shit. That's the thing. Like that is something that you never forget. Like flat out. Like you will like even your Alzheimer's ass will fucking remember why you were that excited for like basically a 16-bit or 32-bit ass game that you could play on the like on a cartridge. Like you remember that shit no matter what. And like in my case too, like it was like I have never simped that hard for a piece of plastic in my life.
Dude, Mario Odyssey made me feel that way as an adult. That's why I love that game so much. Like, when a game makes you feel that way as a grown-ass man, it was still able to grasp you, that's how you know that shit is good. Say what you will about Odyssey, like, its critiques about it, like how certain spots of it are linear or whatever, or how, like, people, like, nitpick it too much because, like, there's a specific way or Nintendo wants you to play it, even though I still felt that open-world feel. Granted, I do think 64 is a better game. Like, from a game design philosophy perspective now, like, I kind of get it. Plus, there's, like, too many moons and Odyssey and stuff, blah, 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 all that shit. Like, I get all the criticisms. I'm not here to talk about that. But that game, when I played it, I never wanted it to end. Ever. I never fucking wanted it to end. I cried when I beat it. Because I wanted more. Even though there was already more and more. Like, but how could you say a game is bad when it made me feel that way?
Yeah, it's like, how are you going to... Like, it's not even, like, a critique against the game. It's like, how are you going to invalidate my fucking feelings?
Yeah, like how are
like
you gonna
what
say
I
that,
just
you know
felt.
what I mean? Like this person, yeah.
Like, bro, when I turned on the game, when I like download was finished, I have never stared at a screen with like hyper intent like that in my life. Seeing that stupid green bar, like the not green bar, but like the gray bar going towards the end. Like it was like it reminded me of like how remember when computers loaded so fucking slowly back then? We would just we would just stare at that stupid meter that would go towards the right and it would be like the longest fucking thing ever. I mean, granted, at least my internet speed at home is like not too bad, so like it was pretty fast. And it's not even like that big of a game. It's a fucking GBA like a game that they ported over to the Switch. So obviously it's not going to be that big, but like when I heard that fucking main menu, holy shit. Like, I had not felt that, like, nostalgic orgasm like that in such a fucking long time. I just, like, think it was...
Did you feel like a kid again?
I did. I really did. That's without question. Like,
Dennis, you're 29.
I know. I'm a fucking slob of a fucking human being.
Oh, come on. That's
No,
I didn't mean it like that.
I'm self-deprecating myself over here.
And this made you feel that way.
I know. And like
it's so special, you know?
That's the thing though too, because when a lot of people like get to a certain age, like not that I'm saying that like you can't like you're like incapable of experiencing joy, but it's like, for a lot of people like the jadedness starts to like kind of set in, and also not to mention like kind of where like what people's life for the most part, it's like you go to work, like and that's like already like a third of your day that you basically have to do, and the other third is basically you go to sleep, and then the other third is that you have for free time, like to do whatever you want. But when like it gets to a certain point in your life, like things do get very difficult. I think that goes without saying. Like you just like you're working hard and hard, and a lot of times like people don't even got like time to enjoy themselves after they reach a certain age. Like especially depending on what job you have and everything, like a lot of times it's just kind of like the only solace you have is that like, okay, yeah, I'm making money, and like let's say I have like a decent house and everything, but a lot of times it's just kind of like work. It's all like about work and everything. And for me, it's like me and a bunch of other people that I know, like obviously we're all working. David's trying to get a job out here too, but it's like there's like days when we come back home and we're just kind of like you're just tired. You don't even want to do anything. Like you don't even want to look at like almost anything sometimes. Like sometimes I just like would want to go to bed. Like certain old jobs that I had back then. Like, especially when I was working at Amazon for a while, like 4:30 in the morning to 8:30, I just wanted to sleep. Like, I didn't want to fucking do anything. But
And I've even been rejecting jobs. Like, it's not like I've gotten 0 offers, but like the interviews have been slow, market's bad, you know, blah blah blah. People can give you a chance. My old boss called me in the middle of my recent interview.
Oh right, yeah.
And offered me something similar to that, like with something about like some Amazon delivery program where I'm literally just gonna be driving around Jersey City, like scanning shit for like businesses who participate in the program. And it's not like a B2B like commission-based sales job like I had working for him before. Like that one was different. It was like $800 a week or something like that for like an 8-week program. And I still said no to it because I knew like if I do that, I'm gonna get sucked into it and not focus on like, you know, the stuff I want to do for a job at all. And granted, I'm privileged enough to be in a position where I don't need to take a job like that to survive. But at the same time, I know how it feels. You still feel like an idiot for saying no sometimes, like to stuff like money, even though I knew it was the right thing to do. So sometimes I knew just that. I'm gonna come home and I'm not gonna want to do anything. I'm not gonna want to like browse through voiceover websites looking for gigs and stuff like that. Which, by the way, there's actually an open casting call. I wanna show you. I want to go through some of the characters with you. I want an outsider view of like which one you think would be best for me because there's a lot of male characters and stuff. So we'll talk about that later. For an adult animated comedy.
Oh.
And fucking yeah, it's like, you know, you gotta like, again, I'm privileged enough to be in a position where I don't have to do that, but you know, I know how it feels to like, you know, be working a job like that and you come home and then you just don't want to do anything. That's how it was when I was working at the mall. That's how it was when I was working for the marketing firm that I worked for and stuff like that. It just wasn't the stuff I wanted to do long term for a living. It was stuff I was doing for money, but then it just sucks away at your fucking soul to the point where like the energy is gone. And even right now, I don't have a job. I have no excuse to not finish Sonic Frontiers, and I'm getting closer. I got a lot closer recently, but I still haven't done it. You know what I mean? It's like as an adult, it's just so much different. You know, you like in those games when you play them, like, you know, Mega Man Battle Network, the Legacy Collection for you, and Odyssey for me, they bring you back to that simple time.
Better times, really.
Even though now, like, you're an adult and you're a better version of yourself, hopefully, and most likely. And you can't say that any game that makes you feel that way, you can critique it, but you can't say that they're ever bad. So I think what me and Dennis are trying to say here, and what I'm getting from Dennis, looking at his fucking eyes right now, is don't ever lose that feeling. You know, don't lose your dinosaur. Don't lose your
don't
Mario.
lose your Stegosaurus. Like
don't lose your Mega Man. Don't lose your super fighting robot.
Whatever made you happy as a kid is a good thing. And obviously, when you grow up and, you know, the older you get, obviously you do grow out of a lot of things. That's true. But for me, what I want to do in the future is to, like, share the stuff that I really loved, you know, with my kids. And kind of, like, show them, like, what the fuck I was into, you know, back in the day when I was their age. Because obviously, like, you know, 20 years from now, obviously, like, you know, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection could be fucking considered ancient. It'd be like a museum piece at this point, like, you know, by that, or like at least by that time. Odyssey could even be like a museum piece by that time. Like, you know, it could literally like just be, you know, just it's like a thing of the past. And like, you know, obviously, you know, for a lot of people, like, especially when it comes to a lot of games, like, I don't play Atari. Like, that's like way out of my fucking, like, you know, I guess kind of I don't know what to call it. Like I'm just too young. I guess I'm just too.
It's before your time.
It's before my time. Yeah, like it's just way older than me by like at this point, like what, couple of 30 years or so. Like I mean, well, Atari came out around like what, the 80s, the 70s.
Yeah, there was Pong in 1970.
Yeah.
So
about like 20 years, like my senior, when it comes to like that whole like kind of, you know, era. And like, you know, I have no desire to play any Atari game. I don't, but at the same time, I don't take nothing away from anyone who enjoyed them because it's like this was their childhood. Like Pong was like fucking NASA to them, and like I can't take that away from them at all. Like, you know, that's like what they enjoyed. I grew up with like Pokemon, like, you know, red blue version, Nintendo 64, and like, you know, tons of other like kind of like 90s era like type of like, you know, games that, you know, I guess all of us, at least in here, can at least, you know, know or they can relate to. And
yeah, I remember being in a classic game store and like describing Mario 64 to the guy there, and he said like verbatim everything you just said. That's how we felt about Mario 3. That's what he said, and that's how you know.
Yeah,
We're all, that's how you know we're all in this together. We're all one. And sometimes, it's important to remember that base of feeling. We all fell in love with the art, and sometimes, things conglomerate, communities grow around those things, and sometimes those communities, despite, growing together over something very wholesome and beautiful and artistic, can become very toxic and cringe. May I, Dennis?
Yep. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna talk about this on Twitter because I don't like to participate in Twitter discourse, especially when it comes to, like, Smash Brothers shit. Yeah. I literally made this podcast to distance myself from the community a little, among other things, because, I was in a very different place regarding it back then and stuff. Now I commentate still because I fucking love it. And that's the only reason I do it, and it should be the only reason I do it, and that's what in turn will get you more opportunities for it. Same with voice acting or anything else. You gotta do it for the right reasons. And I think most people, I'm not, as bitter as, bitter and jaded as I can come off, I do think most people who do Smash casting do it for the right reasons. Y'all are thirsty for this shit. Passionate ass motherfuckers. Making little group chats and stuff, about supporting each other in the scene, making sure you don't take bad gigs here and there, stuff like that. And fighting to the death over literal pennies tossed in between you for a job that 90% of the time we are not even paid for. Which is why I have the philosophy of not competing with other people. And I guess I can sort of correlate this into something I wanted to talk about with Dennis before, in that I really don't like people who take themselves too seriously. If that makes any sense. Or, what was the other thing? I very much hate hustle culture. And I guess if I have a little time at the end, I'll touch upon that a little bit, because that'll be a good thing to end on. I never normally like to ever talk about, things that get, people on Smash Twitter up in arms or whatever. This one is different because it's hilarious. And, it had people pretty upset. And I'm gonna play the clip right now. Let me see if I can get this in. Let me see if I can get this inside of the microphone here. This was live at a regional in Central Florida for Smash Brothers. I'm gonna play the clip. You just go ahead and you listen to the commentators.
Oh my gosh!
Here,
right now, come on. Oh my gosh! Right now I'm double fisting the mics, one in my mouth, one in my ass. Yeah. We are watching the hypest set I've ever seen. Yo.
And if you heard it just suddenly go dark there, that is because the streamer who was restreaming that event immediately muted it and put his hands in his face. And, leaned down forward.
Just defeated.
I'm not gonna obviously say who that caster was. I know who it was. It is somebody who is kind of notorious for acting a certain type of way in the CFL scene, which is already, pretty a controversial scene in the Smash scene in general. But regardless, again, I'm a grown-ass man. I don't care about fucking, you stupid childish nonsense or arguing over petty shit. We use Twitter as our fucking hub for the Smash community. That's why some shit sucks and, people voice opinions that don't matter, among many other things. But I did want to give some of my, just one thought or two, because I am a Smash caster and I've been doing it for 7 years. I have commentated at the major level.
Best in the state, by the way.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, and I'm not gonna toot my own horn. I think I'm pretty good at it. I've done it for a real long time. And I think I'm phenomenal at it if the standard is not talking about shoving microphones in my rectum during the stream. However, I'm here to approach a middle ground, as we are often ones to do on the Double D Experience. Everybody gets shit here. This is what we're all about. A lot of people were really, really upset at this. A lot of viewers were just like, oh yeah, don't never let this guy on the mic again, blah, 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 looking for something to be outraged about, even though the mute button is right fucking there. But then there were other casters who were really upset about it, who said things like, oh, I wish we strived for a certain level of professionalism, or other casters who, I'm gonna be frank, also kind of made it a little bit about themselves, talking about, what their struggles as a
narcissism
and whatnot. Yeah, that's a whole different ballpark, but I'm not gonna even get into that. However, they are right in the sense that at a regional level, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Why?
I will say, when you sent me that clip, I had to do a double take.
Fisting these microphones, bro. See, but this is my opinion. I think that clip should be nothing more than like a copy pasta.
Yeah, like a little meme. Like a little 10-second meme.
That's how we should clown on it. Like, we should be writing that shit in Twitch chats. Or, like, making fake twitlongers about it. Because it's funny as fuck. You can't even say that it isn't. He had the boldness. The freaking arrogance. The audacity to get on stream and talk about shoving fucking microphones in his booty hole. And, granted, obviously, it goes without saying. We don't need to have discourse saying, yeah, don't say that on an esports stream. That man who said that on that stream is the entire reason I made this show. It's so I can say that. So I can have an outlet where I can say that and be myself. It's the common thing that a lot of like new Smashcasters, myself included when I was new at it, when I was young back in the day, make the big mistake of, the show is not fucking about you. It's not about you. It's about the players. You're a sort of salesman in a way. It's your job to sell the players. Sponsors could be watching. You're supposed to gas them up, talk about what makes them great, talk about the matchup that's on screen. Why did they go to this stage? Game knowledge, all that good stuff. It's a broadcasting job, basically. That's literally what it is. It's a sense professional broadcasting. I have it on my resume. I'm looking at like different podcasting gigs right now, like editing jobs and whatnot, as well as on-air talent stuff. I have 7 years of experience in Smash. Just because you're not paid for it most of the time, that doesn't mean it's not valid experience. It's good. It's a job. Whatever. That being said, some of you take yourselves so damn seriously that, like, you see this and make it so much bigger of an issue than it has to be. Make it a copy pasta and move on. We don't need to talk about, like, integrity of all casters being thrown out the window with something like that. You people need to understand, we are not even at fucking Evo anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even, like, what's the big fucking deal? First of all, I will say it's their regional. They can cast it however they want. You can think it's cringe. I think it's cringe.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
But it's like funny cringe. I don't know. Like, it's just...
It's funny cringe. Even if it's like, you know, not even funny cringe, it's their local, they could do it how they want, and you're also entitled to talk about how you think about it. It makes me feel the same way, like, you know, like my mom, like sitting there looking at Fox News or whatever, being the moderate Democrat that she is, and screaming at the television when the power off button is right there. You can turn it off. You know what I mean? But instead, it's Twitter, and literally everything has to be an issue. John Mulaney's comedy special came out today or the day before, and, like, there's a bunch of, like, you know, people on Twitter who are mad because Dave Chappelle opened at one of his shows once. He's like, he's friends with Dave Chappelle! Like, you know, again, this is what happens when you use Twitter as your base of operations. It's not a real place. However, you're completely right, like, in saying that, like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't be saying that shit at a regional. I agree with you there. But at the same time... How do I say this? Let me I kind of agree with fucking what's his name? I very much agree with Coney's tweet about it. Coney, who was like he's like the top Smash Brothers caster. And he dropped a take about it actually. Like, complete opposite of what all the other casters, or a lot of, like, the casters at lower levels than him seem to say. He literally tweeted, this is verbatim, "It's so weird to see people get pressed about CFL local commentary, and even weirder to see other commentators making it about themselves. Some of the alt-gen treating Smash comms like a sacred art is so bizarre. Just mute it and move on, player. We're not at Evo anymore."
Oh.
Guy's fucking so fucking based for that, bro. I fucking love Coney. Granted...
Very well balanced, too, as far as his, like, kind of response was. It's like, look, it's not a big fucking deal. It's basically what he's saying is that it's not a big fucking deal. I don't know this guy, obviously. I think everyone could just kind of take away that, at least. It's not a big fucking deal. Get the fuck over it.
And granted, the guy's sort of known as, like, one of, like, the funny commentators.
Yeah.
He is. He's a really funny guy. So you would imagine that he would have, like, an opinion sort of similar in that vein. But, like, at the same time, it's like... It's serious enough for you to put down on your resume, Smash commentary and whatnot, but, like... 90% of the fucking time, you are not paid for this. I don't get it. Like, this is why I'm actually going to change my Twitter at pretty soon, because my Twitter handle is still just Nintoonist. And I do not want it to be that. I didn't want to be called Nintoonist on this show. I do it with a friend of mine who is not from the Smash community who does not call me that. I made this show for a plethora of reasons. It's a place where I can be my long-winded self, say swears and stuff, because the show is about me here. It is about me and Dennis here, basically. And I'm not ruining a stream for other people by talking about dicks or whatever on, like, somebody else's live stream. Somebody else's brand. That's not cool. I did that when I was younger.
It's like, you got your corner, then they got theirs. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be over here doing my own thing, and I'm not gonna, like, be bringing my shit and obstructing yours. And preventing you from, like, doing your show the way you want to do it.
Yeah, like I once casted a timeout, and it was a timeout that I felt like there was nothing to talk about, so I was just being an idiot on the microphone talking about nothing. The player got really mad about it, and then they talked about me on Twitter for a bit, and we got in a little bit of a scrap and stuff like that. And then we said, we want to see you grow and whatnot. We want to see you thrive. And I'm like, hey man, this is your place, your rules. I'm not gonna fucking disrespect that. And they only helped me grow because of it. And then I became one of my region's most well-known and top casters many years later. When I was told by one of the most toxic people in the community that I was never gonna fucking amount to shit.
Well, first of all, fuck that guy.
He got canceled a long time ago for, like, other
and then
shit.
Also, second, even Smash players, and no matter what kind of scene anyone's from, right?
Yeah.
You are a man. You are a grown-ass man. If you really break it down, you are a grown-ass man.
Or a woman,
video.
less likely.
Or a woman, yeah, exactly. You're a grown-ass person playing a video game. There's nothing to take seriously about yourself.
It's like Smash is grassroots. It's about to be. It's
like, why is it like that people look for professionalism in things that, like, in my opinion, like, why are you looking for it? Like, I don't get it.
Smash is about what you give rather more than about what you get. It's a very grassroots scene. The money's not there. Nintendo hates us. Like,
well, Nintendo hates a lot of people.
Nintendo. We don't even have time to talk about.
I know, but enough to literally fuck a person over for life, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, if any of y'all know, you know. But it's like, Nintendo don't give a fuck about you.
They literally said in their press release about that too. It's not about money. It's about sending
literally
a message.
Miyamoto.
They said that.
Miyamoto with the Joker mask. He's just kind of like, it's not about the money. It's about to sending a message. Everything burns.
Anyway, point is, Oh
god.
I think you should take yourself seriously enough to the point where, like, we're supposed to act how we act on live streams. Just the show is not about you or whatever. But, like, when people maintain, like, such a level of professionalism that their egos get inflated about it, it's like, dude, it's not that fucking serious. And
exactly.
And you're not that important. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Like, this is why I don't want. Another reason I started the show. I don't want my whole identity
to revolve around, like,
Smash, because Smash will always be there at the local, regional level and stuff like that. But again, it's just one part of you. But, like, everybody on Smash, their handle is like their Twitter @. Like, that's why Smash Twitter is such a thing. And for voiceover gigs, I need to change that because I don't want people to find my Twitter and be like, "What the fuck is a Nintoonist?" Is this we're trying to hire David for this? Who the fuck is this? Be like, and it's not even in there. So they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck?"
Like, you're gonna be like that one recruiter. He's just gonna go be like doing a little background check. You just be like,
the point is, why are you making it about you?
You read your tweets. Just like,
granted, I'm sorry, Dennis. Granted.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
Again, there's a line you need to tread, and that dude went too far.
And that's the thing.
There's fucking children watching that shit, man. Come on.
Always a line. There's always got to be a line you don't cross.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. I always say, it's like, in this guy's case, right? Just trying to, like, at least draw comparisons right here. Yeah. It's like, okay, you're the guy that is known to fuck around. He's the jokester. He's like, haha, like, like, he's the prankster. He likes to say jokes. But the thing is, though, I'm really trying, but the more I keep thinking about his stupid ass fucking commentary.
Are you thinking about the logistics of, like, how a microphone would feel in your asshole?
Yes. And how painful. Like, it looks like at least a good-sized cock.
Can you imagine what that would sound like if you shoved a mic in your asshole? Like, how would that peak it? Like, what does a butthole sound like on the inside?
I don't know.
Like, you know, commentary becomes like a topic of discussion on Twitter every now and again because there's people who are like, be like, yeah, you know, like because there's people who like hate commentary or like, you know, like hate this type of commentary. You can't please everybody. Like everybody has different like sources. There's people on both sides of the camp where like people demand a caster be a hype man and then like, oh my god, just talk about the fucking game, and then they become an emotionless analyst and be like, oh my god, they're so boring to watch, blah blah blah. It's like, bro, do you think you're fucking watching ESPN? Like, holy shit, it's not, like, where do you think you are right now? Like, people base their whole fucking lives around Smash, and it's a grassroots scene where, like, you're basically giving what you give. Yeah, it's enough to put on your resume and go forward, but again, like, I don't know why or when people started taking themselves, like, so goddamn
people
seriously.
People think they're, like, commentating on the Olympics. Like, that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from, like,
you can't, like, dedicate yourself. This is why, like, I think dedicating yourself to Smash is one of the worst things you can fucking do to yourself. It's probably my biggest regret in life is branding myself around it. Because now, if I make, like, new content that isn't necessarily about Smash, it doesn't really get the views or whatever. I even ran polls, like, what kind of video essay do you want to make? And I had one Smash video on there, which I was thinking of not even putting on there, and that's the one that gets the most. You know what I mean? It's like, why, like, your whole life revolving around that. It's just like, ugh, it's... You know, I could have a lot to say about that. But point is, it's like, it's part of, like, that sort of hustle, like, hustle, grind, hustle, mindset, grind set culture that is just fucking plagued our society these last couple of years, where everybody was saying if you don't come out of quarantine mastering a fucking, like, skill, you basically wasted your time in this. Meanwhile, it was the first fucking global pandemic in over 100 years. People are hurting right now, you fucking jackass. Some people are getting over the worst breakups of their lives and not able to go out of their house and see their friends unless they bring home a deadly disease to their mother. Like, imagine being that guy. Couldn't be me. But, like, it's part of that, because everyone's like, grind never stops, and all the casters just gas themselves up, like, on Twitter, like, constantly, like, yes, king, this and that, and there's casters that I love listening to, and which is most of them, and then there's some I very much don't like, but I'm not gonna put them down, and people like them, and that's what matters. But, like, it's very much part of that hustle mindset, grind set culture, because it is a bit of a grind, but I hate that. You know, I hate that so much, how that's infected our society. Why does everything have to be a grind? Why is it no longer considered okay to just settle? You know, seek a little safety, relax for a bit, you know, do something for fun. I don't want to climb any corporate ladders. I mean, when I was a salesman for a marketing firm, I was so miserable because there was a clear growth structure to that job, which is why it wasn't paid unless you fucking sold. Basically, no wage or nothing like that.
You earned your keep as well.
Earned your keep. Or care about job titles that mean nothing, you know. I don't need accolades. You know, it's just like, I retweeted an image of it, you know, today. Like, and it's verbatim how I feel. I just want to have enough income to fund my lifestyle, not be depressed, help other people, be around good humans, take on a life partner, all that shit. You know, it speaks to my soul. Like, it's become, hustle culture has become, I feel, because of social media, has become so ingrained in, like, a deeply late-stage capitalistic society now. I just want to be me. I don't want to compete with anyone. I don't want to suck any dick to climb a corporate ladder that means nothing in the grand scheme. You can't take it with you. You know? The wolf taught me that, or reminded me of that, and why does everything have to be a grind? You know, why can't certain things you do just be for fun anymore? Like, I fucking hate the people who say, like, yeah, if you're wasting your life if you're not making money while you sleep. You know, mindset, grind set, just trying to make it in the game, fam. You feel me? Like, I fucking hate those kinds of people with every fucking fiber of my goddamn soul. These are the kinds of people who look at AI, don't even know what the fuck it means or the impacts it'll have on society, but the red arrow go up, and so I'm
the
happy.
green arrow.
The green arrow goes up, and therefore I'm happy, basically. And don't get me wrong, working hard is obviously very important. I'm not saying to not work hard to get what you want and to live a fulfilling life, but I just hate how hustle culture paired with social media has just infected people's minds to just always want to be better than others. And I feel like some Smashcasters feel that way. Deep down, they want to be better than other people rather than build each other up. I sure as fuck used to think like that. And after, you know, my sort of downgrade, if you would, because I used to get picked for majors, and I fell off hard during quarantine. Like, I used to get picked for majors before that shit happened, and I fell off hard. I'm completely okay with that now. Because I recognize what Smash is. It's a grassroots scene where people come together, like, to have fun doing something they love and, like, to get out of their house and, you know, to meet people. And it's a community effort. The same way you'd fund, like, a community theater show, like I saw our friend Dane in the other night.
He actually called me.
Yeah,
I'm about to tell him right now, bro. I'm recording. Just give me one second.
He knows what we're doing. He called me yesterday.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like it's good that we all come together to do that thing. So it's like when it becomes a grind, when you're doing something that you don't want to do for the sake of getting to like a certain status, it can help take the fun out of it. And I know if I keep going at the way I'm going, I know I'm gonna get back to like the major place again, or at the very least, I know that I could. But I don't fucking care about that.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. Not only because Smash casting is what it is, and like you're not paid for it most of the time you do it. It's a glorified internship. I will say that 1,000,000 times over. That's all the Smash community is for people who like see it professionally, and it's all it will ever motherfucking be until the day we all die. But you want to know why I still do it? You know, despite like the bitterness I felt towards it for so long, you know, dating someone in the scene and having the scene just remind me of that person constantly, having mental baggage towards it. And all in all, just, you know, making friends, making enemies, all that shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking fun.
At the end of the day, it's simple.
It's fun. That's why I still do it. And that's the reason that you should do it. Even for things like voice work. You know, Bob Bergen, he once said, like, your main goal for voiceover should be fun first. It should be the fact that you enjoy it, and then because you should want to do it, and then as a result of you continuously wanting to do it, that is how you get to the place where you can do it professionally full-time. So the fact that, you know, so many young casters see themselves as, like, so legit too quickly, it's like, it's kind of like a vainly, it feels like a little, like, vainly thealed, like, what's that thing that fucking brides wear? Like the veils.
Veil, yeah.
A little bit of a veil of like narcissism. And I know because when I was young, I had those humbleness steps too that I had to grow into. So I think, you know, a lot of it, you know, people make things about themselves. And I think that clip is like fucking apparent of that. But like, I just hate how that culture has just infected everything. And it's another huge reason why I hate Twitter. And I cannot wait for it to die because Twitter promotes making you miserable. It
also promotes narcissism.
Very much so, yes. And it's going to be gone in a few years, so I'm pretty...
You all better just enjoy it for as long as you have it, essentially.
Yeah, until the new one comes out, and hopefully there's not a character limit or, you know, among many other things that, you know, I feel like need to be changed about it. But I just, you know, call me lazy. Say, like, oh, you're such a waste of talent, David. Because I've seen people saying, I also seen other casters tweet, oh, there's so many talented people who are just not working hard enough. And I could feel attacked by that. Maybe I don't network hard enough. I don't travel out of state very often. I have too many things that I want to do, and my little ADHD brain, like, makes it so I don't do anything at all. And, you know, voice acting, writing, all the stuff I love to do, Smash casting, all the stuff. It's, you know, so call me lazy. Call me stupid, call me naive, call me a hater, call me whatever you want. But I just think that, like, if all you have on your mind is work, nothing is ever enough for you. You always need more, even after you achieve the next goal.
Like, you're a glass half empty type person.
You're a glass half empty type person, and you are the one who's brain dead, not me. Because the only thing in this world that you can free is it's your mind, my friend. And that's what a lot of you need to focus on freeing instead. Once you learn to laugh at everything, everything becomes just funny and serious enough. It's not about watching the world burn. You know, it's just about like watching it go by. That's why I started a podcast with this guy. We watch so many things, we comment on it. We're fucking idiots. We don't know nothing about anything, but we have fun doing it. I don't give a fuck about the views or what have you now, even though I do want to grow this podcast as much as I can. But I will have to enjoy it first. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, you know? And that's why I don't regret it, you know, say, like, why you make a podcast when it gets way less views than your old stuff? I'd rather this podcast never grow and never, like, get the views that my old content did than go back to making that shit and become, like, a big YouTuber.
Although, ideally, we would like it to grow. So please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, no.
Please.
Ideally, I should do both.
I know.
Like that's the lazy part of me. Basically, I should be doing both. I'm not saying not to fucking work.
Well, it's also
you have to grind at certain
also,
things.
Your priorities are different.
Yeah,
because it's like, look, I made this and I'm making this because again, I'm enjoying it, and life is really not that complicated as people like to make it think it is. Because look, if you enjoy something, just fucking do it. If it makes you happy, just do it. Who the fuck is anybody to tell you what not to do and what not to enjoy? Just fucking do it.
Sheryl Crow, you know. If it
basically, just tell people to go fuck themselves anyways. Like, thing, it's my life. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. How about that? And I'm gonna wrap up a bit because it's like, you know.
Yeah, we're wrapping.
But I also just wanted to at least comment on like your take, or at least your opinion on like hustle culture. And I think to a certain extent, I do agree that at the very least, I think like it's become a very toxic thing, just because at the very least, what it promotes inherently for me is a good thing. But I think it's those who take it to the very extreme and then put others down for basically not living the way they do is where I at least cross the line with that kind of shit. Because at the very least, it's like, I think hard work is, obviously, I think even everyone could agree, hard work is something that should be celebrated. No matter what like thing anyone may say, working hard is like a great thing, especially if you are working towards a goal of yours and the hard work is going to pay off, and obviously like that should be celebrated. But I think at the very least, it's like there's a couple guys that I basically listen to, like I think maybe some of you guys may have heard of him, called like David Goggins. He was basically like he was a self-proclaimed fat fuck who then lost 100-something pounds and then joined the Navy SEALs. It's like a crazy journey that he essentially basically took, and a lot of the stuff that he kind of talks about is like very much like mindset, grindset kind of way. But like he even says that, like he even tells everyone, like, I don't want to do this shit. He's even had like plenty of times where he's like had plenty of self-reflection where it's like, I don't want to go out at 4 a.m. to run 3 miles around my block. I don't want to like want to like
those videos. Oh my god. It's simple, really. My day starts at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You know,
but like
I hit a run, rain or shine.
But for him like, though, it's like it's so different with, at least to me, Goggins to other like kind of those hustle-minded, grind-set kind of YouTubers, because at the very least, it's like this guy, he did suffer, and like he even came out with like a book that I read a few of the tidbits of it, and just kind of like the real like not like a hellhole sort of life, but like just like he basically just described it was a shitty life before I decided to turn my life around. And I think anyone that's like relatable as hell, because it's like we all felt that way in a way, at least like, you know, in some certain points in our lives, and we wanted to turn it around. And obviously it was always gonna start with you yourself. Like you have to make that decision. And for me, like I do resonate with that, because it's like, you know, there was a time obviously during the pandemic that I never worked out in my life, and then all of a sudden I was just doing gym stuff like at my house, and just then afterwards went to the gym like full time basically. And at the very least, I think to the aspects of like let's say hustle culture, in which like you want to better yourself but not putting down others, I could get on board with that. I am on board with that, in fact. But I think it's, again, just like everything on the internet, right? It's just been so twisted and perverted to the point.
Positivity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, again, working out, and even like guys who are like gym bros, like, and everyone knows like the whole gym bro culture, like on TikTok, and like not even gym bro culture, but just like gym culture in general, and how toxic it is, like on TikTok, like all the trends we saw of like anytime you pass a dude while he was recording a video, he'd be like, "What the fuck, bro?" It's like, bro, I will walk back the other way through your video again if I want to. I don't give a fuck. And like, again, like what the internet has always done historically has always taken a great fucking thing, a very good thing, and just basically bastardized it, commodified it, tainted it, toxified it. Just basically, it's almost like nothing what it was before all you fucking mouth breathers touched it, essentially. You turned a pure thing and corrupted it, essentially. And I still even, like, I don't push back with David as far as how he is saying, like, how this is basically kind of, like, infected a lot of, like, young people's lives and, like, kind of, you know, sort of made them, like, not, like, almost joyless in a way. But I even think, like, that's, like, I'm, like, half and half because, like, I do believe that you should be working hard. Like, that goes without saying. Like, even going to the gym 4 times a fucking week. I know for a lot of people, like, some of them don't even go once a week. So it's like, if you could even go, like, you know, and just be consistent with your habits like that, like, I applaud that. I don't think anyone should, like, not applaud that. The very fact that, like, even some of my cousins have told me that the very fact that I wake up at 6 a.m. to even go to the gym at all is fucking insane. Because, like, waking up at 6 a.m., who the fuck wants to do it? But, like, I also, like, for me, I do it because, well, not really for altruistic reasons. I literally do it because I don't want to go to the gym after I'm done with work. I don't want to go anywhere, really. Like, truthfully, I don't want to go anywhere. I'd rather just get that shit over and done with before I have to do anything else after work. Like, after work is my me time. So, what I'm getting at is that, like, you know, I think if you are, like, one of those people who, like, do hustle and grind, I think at the very least, like, dial it back a bit and just kind of also, I always say, like, have, like, a good balance of shit. Because at the end of the day, like, all that hard work has got to lead to something. And, you know, you got to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor to, like, at least, like, briefly, you know? Like, what is all this for if you can't even enjoy it in the end? Or even just, you know, better yet, for me, I want all of that so I could share it with other people. And again, like, that's something that at least I strive for. That's, like, my message, at least. If you're going to hustle and grind, do it for yourself and others. Like, that's what really matters to me at the end of the day.
Don't do it for money. Don't do it for fucking arbitrary-ass Twitter followers. You can't take
do it
those
for you
with
and your loved ones. That's all it is.
You can't take those with you either. Again, I'm not saying not to work. I'm not saying not to grind. But just please, for the love of Christ, there's so much grass outside. Just remember to stop and smell the roses every once in a while. Otherwise, you're going to look back on your life when you're old, and you're going to realize that, you know...
None of it mattered.
None of that fucking mattered at the end of the day.
Especially your Alzheimer's ass, like, thing when it fucking, like, when that shit sets in. You're not even going to remember that crap.
We're done. DDE. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Hustle and grind, bro.
We're available wherever you get them. Here at youtube.com/Nintoonist as well. Feel free to give a like, comment, and subscribe down below if you enjoyed it. Sorry, this one ran a little long today as well, but
very preachy.
We just got shit to say. You know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes run a little long. It's just got shit to say. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We're gonna end it right here though. We love you all. A lot of stuff I wanted to get off my chest today, so I appreciate you listening. Let's go play some Uno, Dennis.
Yeah, Uno. Yeah, hustle and grind, guys. Don't forget that. Hustle and grind.
Yo, I'm gonna become the Uno champion. Yeah. Who the fuck plays Uno for fun anymore, bro? Yeah, I'm gonna become. This is a real thing, but this is a real thing, by the way. There is competitive Uno. I'm gonna become the Uno Grand Champion.
It's gonna be the top G.
Fucking little kid, the top G. Yo, what? Yo, what color's your Bugatti?